My family and I live on a pretty large estate in Louisiana, and we have for years. We've owned the property for generations, and now I am its sole owner. Grandfather figured out how to cover the property taxes years ago, so I haven't paid anything but the bills. Grandfather's father was not a good man, and his son had done his best to eradicate all of the ugliness he left behind. The slave quarters had been demolished. He came from a long line of traitors, something his son wanted to forget. It's not something I'm proud of, it's simply the truth, and it gives some credence to the eerie nature of the estate. Ugly, brutal things happened here. Blood, sweat, and tears have soaked into the very earth. Sometimes on the porch the wind would howl so ferociously it sounded like the lamentations of hundreds. The wails would make me shiver in the night. It was here that I witnessed the curse. I call it a curse because of the uncanniness of its target. There is a pattern, but there's no way of knowing how things end once it begins. Bad things happen to the women in my family after they have children. As far as I can recall, my ancestor hung herself. Another died bleeding out in the forest. She'd been raked over with thorns so severely she died of blood loss. My great-great-grandmother fell off her roof. My great-grandmother was struck by lightning. My grandmother was pushed down a flight of stairs and died while having her leg reset. And my mother went completely mad and had to be hospitalized. She never came back after she was admitted. It's likely why she's still alive right now. The way it usually goes is they always leave an orphan. I got to have my mother for a lot longer than the norm, but it still hurt to lose her. At this point, I consider it a family curse, and I will not be having children. There is something that feeds off the energy of that kind of loss. The trauma is its nourishment, and I refuse to feed it. It will die with me. I think I saw it once. I was sleeping next to my mother, and I woke up before she did. I rolled over to say good morning, and I saw something lying in her place. It was a woman, toothless, blind, bald, bloated, black and blue, and waterlogged, like her dead body had just been pulled out of the bayou behind the house. She was moving, though, whimpering and struggling like she was tied to something. She began moving her mouth, as if to say something. Then the wounds appeared suddenly and peeled the flesh off her body. Water and decay seeped from the sores. She clutched her stomach, curling to protect her stomach. I just lay there, frozen, unable to speak or move. Finally, something snapped inside of me, and I covered my eyes and I just started screaming. My mother jolted awake and grabbed me. It took me a while to calm down. Honestly, I know my mother is a diagnosed schizophrenic, but until the day I die, I believe that there's something holding on to her. Something that she picked up and couldn't shake off after she gave birth to me.